Hi everyone, today we're going to be using Play-Doh. So I'm going to show you a popular clay technique, a hand building technique called a coil technique. So this type of Play-Doh would be perfect, or maybe you have Model Magic, maybe you have a real clay, anything that you want to use. You can also find a recipe for making your own Play-Doh. That would be great for this as well. So first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to break your Play-Doh into 3 equal pieces, about equal. They don't need to be perfect. This is going to be a good idea because you want to work with a little bit smaller pieces when you make your coil. So I'm going to set these 2 aside and I'm going to work with my first one. Make a ball and then you just start rolling it. Okay, start with 1 hand and then as it gets bigger, move to 2 hands, and I'm just putting a little bit of pressure. I'm pushing gently, a little bit at a time until I have my coil even thickness all the way throughout. You might notice maybe one side's a little skinnier. That means you need to come over here and make this part match, right? Now this is pretty long. I'm going to set that aside, get my next one. Start with 1 hand. Move to 2. Now this technique also works best when you're standing. I'm standing at my counter, and so I'm much higher than my Play-Doh. That allows me to really put my hands in the correct position. Okay, I got my second one. I've got 2 here. Set those aside so I have space. Get my third one. Some people like to do that and start out their coil in their both hands. Okay. I almost have all through my coils, and then I'm going to show you the coil technique to make a simple little cup. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to start with my first one. So I have all 3 right here. I'm just going to start with my first one, and I am going to start on one end, and I'm going to turn this into sort of a spiral. See that spiral? So I'm just going like that. Okay. Oh, and my coil broke, which is actually perfectly fine because this is going to be the base of my little cup. Okay? Now, if yours breaks and it's not the size you want, you just push it right back there and you keep going. Right? Okay. Break it off when you have the size that you want. So this is my base. Now I'm going to use my coil, and I am going to start building the walls of my cup up. Get my next coil. If you want to break these long coils in half so they're shorter, that will be fine too. And I'm going to place it right on top of my base around the edge, like that. Okay. This one needed to be a tiny bit skinnier, so I just coiled it a little bit more. Okay, like that. It's getting taller. My next coil, break it in half, so I want it a little bit shorter. The shorter it is, the easier it is to work with. Okay. And then here you have your little cup. The inside, the outside. So this is the coil hand building technique. Now when you're just using Play-Doh, well, this is just for practice, for fun, and then you might break it and make something else. If you're using air dry clay, you would just set this out to dry, and then it can be like a little pretend cup or sculpture. Have fun!